Well, good morning and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual Open Enrollment Fair session. During today's session, we will go over dental benefits with Delta Dental. Before we get started, I would like to brief everyone on a couple housekeeping items. All attendees are muted and will be muted throughout the presentation. If you have a question, please type it in the chat box located in the lower right of your corner, and we actually have it designated as a Q&A box. All questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Be informed that if you type a question in the Q&A box, everyone attending the session will not see your question or your name. If you have a question that is confidential, please contact the Benefits Division directly. Lastly, today's webinar is being recorded. A copy will be posted on the Benefits Open Enrollment website. At this time, I will turn it over to our presenter, Carrie Ord.
Thank you. Well, I want to welcome everyone this morning to our Delta Dental presentation, and we're going to go over some important things about the plans that you have available to you. We're going to actually begin with Delta Care USA and let you know a little bit about that. Delta Care USA is a plan that gives you comprehensive coverage. We consider it what we call a prepaid fixed co-payment plan. So what you've got once you've enrolled is the necessity to choose a primary dentist from our Delta Care USA network. And once you have done that, some of the pluses of that are you have set co-payments. You don't have any annual maximums. There's no deductibles, no claims are filed. And very important, you have low premiums. This is exactly how it would work for you. It's not terribly complicated. Probably the most important thing that you've got to do is choose your primary care dentist, and you can do that online or you can do it by phone. And I'll tell you how to go to the network to pick your dentist in just a few minutes. So first of all, you're going to choose your dentist. Then you're going to be able to make an appointment. And thirdly, you'll be able to visit the dentist and get any work done that you need. And the last thing you do is pay your co-payment for the work that you've had done. You also are covered for specialty and emergency care. And if you need specialty care, your primary care dentist will refer you for that. And they will actually request authorization for specialty services. And if you're traveling or you're out of the network or away from where your dentist is, you are covered for emergencies. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Orthodontics, everyone has a lot of questions about orthodontics. So this is a little bit about your ortho coverage on Delta Care USA. You have coverage for children and adults, and also you have limited and comprehensive orthodontic treatment. So that means anything small to anything large as far as doing a whole mouth of orthodontics to move all the teeth around. That's what we consider comprehensive. That usually lasts up to about 24 months. And then you are also covered for your pre and post records, and you have coverage for in-progress treatment as well. This is how you would be charged for your comprehensive ortho treatment. You pay a co-payment because remember on Delta Care USA, you pay co-payments for all of your treatment. So that works the same way with your ortho. And you'll notice that if you have children or adults that are having ortho done, the co-payments are exactly the same. $1,695 would be a co-payment, and that would be for a routine case. And I mentioned 24 months. So usually routine cases run from 12 to 24 months. And that would also cover pre and post treatment costs. Now, in order to pick the dentist that you want to go to, you're going to have to go to the deltadentalinS.com website. And the way I remember that is deltadentalinneedsomething.com. And you can browse the Delta Care USA dentist in your area. And when you write down the facility number, you'll be able to send that to customer service online, or you can call them on the telephone and give that to them so you can be assigned to the primary care dentist that you want. So the phone number actually is at the bottom of this slide. If you want to note it down, I know it's in a lot of other places as well. Okay, we're going to move into the Delta PPO now. And this is just a little graphic that shows the PPO, the Premier, and the non-Delta dental. So what that means to you is you're going to get your best value in your PPO plan. And then your second best value would be the Premier network, and maybe not so good of a value in the non-Delta dental dentist side. So we put a big X through that one. You can actually go to a non-Delta dental dentist, but you're going to pay a lot more out of pocket. So you don't need an ID card to check in. We've done away with those. If you have dual coverage, for instance, if you or your spouse have covered each other or your children, we'll help with that. We'll help coordinate the dual coverage. And something important that you probably want to do is create an online account so that you can go in on your own and check your benefits and your claims online to see where they are in the process and all of that kind of thing. So you'll be able to do that once you set up that account. Okay, now on the PPO, you remember on the Delta Care USA, we didn't have deductibles and we didn't have maximums, but on the PPO, there are deductibles and you do have a maximum. So we've listed the 3 ways to use your plan. You have your PPO dentist, you have your Premier dentist, and you have your non-Delta dental dentist. And you'll see that you have a deductible of $50 per person, up to a maximum of $150 per family. And that is waived. You don't have to pay that deductible for the diagnostic and preventive care that you receive. So that only applies when you actually start operative services, okay? And then you have the $2,000 per person, and that's every family member that's on your plan. You'll have $2,000 for each one. Okay, now this is the co-insurance on this plan, and you'll note that your diagnostic and preventive services are covered at 100%, and basic services, which would be fillings, actually your endo, your root canals and gum surgery and oral surgery all could be considered basic, but we've kind of separated it out just for ease of understanding. But those are covered under 80%, and you would pay 20. Major services, which would be crowns, bridges, kind of anything with a lab procedure or any kind of casting, would be covered at 70%. And also if you have a need for dentures or partials or implants would fall under that, then that is covered also at 70%. Now, if you look to the Premier, you'll see that you have the same coverage, the same percentages. However, the Premier dentists, we have kind of a tiered network. So we have the PPO is going to be your best value. Premier dentists are ones that wanted to be with Delta Dental, but they weren't quite sure about discounting as steeply as the PPO dentist did. So what we did in order to allow ourselves to have a much bigger network and still get discounting is we gave the Premier dentists a little bit higher fees. And so you will have a little something extra to pay if you go to the Premier dentist over the PPO. But then if you go to a non-contracted dentist, you'll see that everything drops significantly and we pay lower percentages. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're not contracted with us, plus they can charge any fee that they want to charge. And we will still compensate them, but we're compensating them at 80% or 60% of what our allowable fees are. So that's important to know. Okay, now this is just a little sample. If you didn't have the maximum waiver on your preventive and diagnostic care, let's say that cost you $350 and you wouldn't pay anything, but we would deduct it out of your maximum. And so then your maximum would drop to $1,650. If we don't deduct that, if we just cover your preventive care and cleanings and don't take it out of your maximum, that will stay at $2,000 that you can use for any other work that you need. Fortunately, most of your plan actually has the maximum waiver, so you'll be able to get your preventive care done and still have your $2,000 maximum. Okay, this is a little sample of what I was explaining about the in-network, out-of-network charges. And we're going to use a crown as an example. So if you have a crown and the dentist charge is $1,200, we're looking at the PPO, it's $1,200. If that dentist has contracted with us, what they have said is, I agree to only take $700 for my crown. And then we would pay 70% of $700, and that would be $490. So that would allow you actually $210 that you would pay out of your own pocket. Now, if you, excuse me, just a minute. Sorry, get out here. Go. Squirrels. We've got squirrels. Okay, so when we're on the Delta Dental Premier Network and we're looking at a $1,200 charge for a crown, you'll see that there's $900 that we allow those dentists. And so that's where we get the little extra that the Premier dentists get. And we'll pay 70% of that $900. And that would be $630, and you would have a residual of $270. So on your PPO, you're going to have $210 out of pocket. On your Premier network, you're going to have $270. So if you use a Premier dentist, you'll pay about $60 more for your crown. But the thing is that if your dentist that you want to see is on the Premier network, it's still not a terribly exorbitant amount to have the dentist that you want. Now, if you go to an out-of-network non-Delta dentist and they have a fee of $1,200, we're going to pay them a percentage of what the allowable amount is for the Premier dentists. So let's say they are charging $1,200, but we're going to say we only allow $900. Whether you're contracted with, if you're not contracted with us, we're still only going to pay you based on $900. So we will pay 60% of that $900, and that would be $540, and you would end up paying $660 out of pocket. So you can see the difference between your PPO and your Premier and someone who's completely out of network, the difference in your out-of-pocket expense. And that's why we always encourage you to stay in the PPO. Okay, now when you get your treatment done, you probably would like to know how much you would be expected to pay. And so in order to help you with that, you can ask your dentist for an estimate. And the dentist actually will send all the details to Delta, and then we will figure everything out for you according to what you have left in your plan and if you have a deductible, and we will send out a cost estimate. Now you'll get a copy and your dentist will get a copy. So and in my experience, you always get yours first, so you're prepared when your dentist gives you a call to set up an appointment. Okay, now your ortho benefit is very interesting because it is the same ortho benefit that you have on the Delta Care USA network. So even though you did not take Delta Care as your plan, you took the PPO, if anyone needs ortho services in your family, it's going to be provided exactly the same way as it is on the Delta Care USA. So it kind of reverts over to the Delta Care USA ortho. Okay, And you're going to use a network orthodontist that's located in California in order to get benefits. And again, if you have any questions on that, you can contact customer service. And you may have questions on how to find a Delta Care USA network orthodontist, and we'll cover that in just a minute. And then you would pay the co-payments, the same co-payments that they pay on the Delta Care plan. Okay, so this is just a little copy of the same slide, but it's for the PPO. And so you'll see that you will pay $16.95 as a co-payment for children or adults on a comprehensive ortho treatment. Okay, this is again, our website. And this is where you can get into specifically County of San Diego benefits. So you're going to go to Delta Dental, ineedsomething.com/County of San Diego. And what you'll be able to do on there is search for a network dentist in your area. You'll also be able to get answers to any kind of routine questions about your plan. We have all kinds of articles and recipes. You can watch videos about oral health on the Smileway Wellness site that we have set up on there. You can also subscribe to Grin, which is our quarterly wellness magazine. Now, when you sign up for your account and you have a password and your username, you'll be able to actually go in, check your plan details, your eligibility, any covered services, and level of benefits. Look up your claim statements. If you had any visits and you need to check claims, you'll be able to do that. And you can view or print an ID card. As well as if you know what you're going to be having done next, we have a cost estimator on there, and you will be able to estimate the cost of your next procedure. Also, you'll be able to submit any questions to customer service, which I like because I would rather submit them online. I have a quicker response rate that way than actually call on the phone. Some people want to talk on the phone, and that's okay. But if you want a quicker response rate, then I think it's best to send them online. We're trying to go paperless, as everybody else is. And we really feel like you get a lot of convenience when you do that. One thing that happens is in your account, every time you get a new document, for instance, if you have sent in, your dentist has sent in a pre-authorization for something and it comes back, it'll go into your account and you'll get a notification. And you'll be able to go into your account and look at it. So you don't have to wait for the mail, which is nice. You can save paper, and you'll be able to log into your account at deltadentalinS.com. Just click on the My Profile tab and set up the online. Okay, now we're to how you're going to find your dentist. And this applies to both plans. So what you're going to do is use the dentist search tool, and you will go to deltadentalinS.com. Look for the Find a Dentist tool. On the right-hand side, there will be a little prompt that says Find a Dentist. When you click on that, it'll take you to another screen that will allow you to search by name, address, city, or zip code. And you will select which network plan you're on. Now, you will have several. You'll be able to look under the Premier Network, the PPO Network, or the Delta Care Network. So if you say, I want to look for my dentist under the PPO and you can't find him or her, you can go to the Premier Network and see if they're on that network. And if you're on Delta Care, you can just go straight into the Delta Care Network, and those are all listed for you to click on the right one, and you can search. Also, next to each dentist, which I like, is a Yelp prompt. So when you're looking at the dentist, you can click on the Yelp, and it will take you right into the Yelp network to your dentist, and you'll be able to look at the ratings and evaluate your dentist by those. We also have a mobile application that's for your smartphone, and you just have to go to the App Store or Google Play and download Delta Dental and put it onto your phone. And so this is what you can do once you have that. You'll be able to find a dentist. You'll look at your coverage details. Remember, we said we don't need an ID card, but you'll actually be able to pull up an ID card on your mobile application. There is a cost estimator, and that is also online. So everything that you have got online available to you, you can access through your application. And this is the one that I like the best. You also can access a musical timer. And for your kids, I say for your kids, but I don't know how many of us brush our teeth for 2 minutes, so maybe it's for us too. I think the kids will get a kick out of it. It goes for 2 minutes before it shuts off, and so your children are able to brush their teeth until the music stops, and that helps them learn how long to brush their teeth. Okay, we talked a little bit about Smileway Wellness, and that's one of the sites that we have. And what you can do on the Smileway Wellness site is increase your dental knowledge. We've got articles on just about everything from acid reflux to x-rays, and also there's tooth-friendly recipes, short videos, and quizzes to assess your dental risks. So you'll be able to do a lot of different learning things on that. Okay, again, this is the toll-free number where you can speak to a customer service representative. They're available Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you just have a routine question, you can sometimes get it answered by calling the automated phone system 24/7 and just push the prompts and find your question and get the answer. Aside from that, you can go to deltadentalins.com, contact us, and there's a customer service form that you can fill out and send in. Pardon me. This is everything that Delta is affiliated with. These are all the social media links that we have. Well, I just made it to the end without coughing. Anyway, that's the end of our presentation, but I'm more than happy to take any of your questions. If we can keep the dogs quiet and the gardeners stop mowing. Tuesdays are bad days around here.
Carrie, they want to partake too. They have something important to say, right?
I know, the thing is usually the gardeners are gone a little bit later than this, and the dogs love to bark at the gardeners, okay? So it's terrible.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you and the dogs, and we actually have a few questions in the Q&A
Okay.
box.
Great.
First one is, are any pediatric dentists included? I ran into the problem that my daughter's assigned dentist is an adult dentist, so we had to be referred to a pediatric dentist, and then the coverage was not good. I had to pay $64 out of pocket with insurance just for a dentist to look into my daughter's mouth for 30 seconds, and that's all they did.
Okay, I'm just going to take a wild stab in the dark and guess that this person is on the Delta Care USA plan. And you might want to qualify that, but yes, on the Delta Care USA with pediatric dentistry, you need to be referred, and they've got a list of things that need to be in line before they will refer a child, but they should have referred to an in-network pedodontist. They should have, and that would follow your co-payments on your plan. So I'm not sure exactly what happened in your particular case, but what I would say is if you want an answer, you may take that to customer service, give them a call and have them look into what dentist you saw, were they in the network or not, and try and find out why you were charged for that, because it should have fallen under your regular co-payment.
Right. Thank you for that, Carrie. Here's the
Mhm.
next question.
Okay.
Is Delta DHMO considered the PPO or is it something else?
I'm sorry, could you just read that one more time? I didn't.
Sure. Is Delta DHMO considered the PPO or is it something else? I think they're asking for the difference between the PPO and DHMO
Okay,
when
okay,
selecting one or the other.
okay. Delta Care USA is what we call a dental HMO, a DHMO. And the PPO is Delta Dental PPO. They're separate plans. The only thing that connects them would be the Ortho Benefit. And on the PPO, you use the HMO's Delta Care Ortho Benefit. So that's the only connection between the two. Aside from that, they're separate plans.
Great. Our next question is, when I look up a dentist on Delta Dental, sometimes it will say Delta Dental PPO, Delta Dental Premier. How do I know which one they are offering, the PPO or Premier?
Well, you're actually offered both. You can use either one. The PPO is going to be your best value for your out-of-pocket expense. Also, if you have a particular dentist in mind and you go to the PPO to look for that dentist and they're not there, then you can go to the Premier network and see if your dentist is in the Premier network. And if you want to use that dentist, you can use them in the Premier network. However, remember the Premier network, they get a little more payment for the services because they're the higher paying network. So you pay a little extra out of pocket than you would with the PPO. But you have access to both networks.
Excellent. We had a question come in. It looks like an individual joined the webinar late and was asking if they would have access to the video to see it again. And yes, to answer your question, the video will be posted on the Benefits Open Enrollment webpage. And we can actually do probably a repeat of the presentation after we go through these questions. Are you okay with that, Carrie?
Sure.
Yeah, so for anyone who did miss the beginning, we will do another round of the presentation with Carrie, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. One of the other questions that's come through, where can I find the table of the PPO and Premier? Carrie?
Are we talking about the benefit sheet, maybe? Is that what they're talking about, do you think?
I am assuming that would be the case, and I can certainly paste a link to the county's website for the table. I believe it's a comparison chart that we have, and it compares what the copays or coverage percentages would be based on types of service.
I see. Okay. Okay.
I believe that's what this question may be about. And I'd be happy to paste the link in the chat box.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Our next question, if my coverage begins on October 1st, 2021, do I need to wait to sign up for an online account?
Yes, if you are not already part of Delta, then you would have to wait until you actually became part of Delta to be able to access the website to set up an account. But if you're already with Delta, then you can do it right now.
I am pasting this link in the chat box really quick. All right, our next question. Does my spouse need to create a separate account or is he covered when I enroll?
Online? Are we talking about online?
I believe an online account.
Yes. You know, I think he should set up his own account and you should set up your own account, because I think that as an adult, he should have his own account, but your children could be on your account so that you can access information for them.
Okay. And I want to go back to our last question where someone inquired about a table for the PPO and
Okay.
Premier. I
Mhm.
just posted the link in the chat box to everyone, the comparison chart for the dental plans. So hopefully if that's what you're requesting, that is available to you in the chat box, and it will take you right to the website. Okay. Our next question. My dental insurance with another company allows me to go to an out-of-network dentist. The dentist files the claim and Delta reimburses me at 100%. It has occasionally been $8 or so less than what the dentist charged for routine cleaning and x-rays and exams. Is this a plan we can access? Okay, now I'm confused about the question. Is this a plan we have access to, or is this the same as the PPO Premier? We might need some
Well,
more.
I guess I'm not quite clear with the question. Maybe I need to hear that again.
If the individual who's asking the question can add to it, we can hopefully answer this while we're on this webinar. I'm not sure what you're asking, so we can definitely come back to that. Just give us a little more
Okay.
information, please.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, let's see. Next question. I tried the website, but the results page was repeatedly blank. Is that a sheriff's site restriction, or is something wrong on the site?
You know, I really, I don't know. I don't know what happened on the site, but I would probably call customer service with that question. They may be able to help you or answer what was wrong. I haven't had that experience, so I think they would be where you would want to go.
And I believe I can add to that question, Carrie. If this individual works at the sheriff's location, I understand and I believe that your access to internet and different websites might be more restricted than if you were a
Oh,
general
okay.
county employee at the administration building or operations center.
Okay.
So I would first recommend to this employee, double check with IT or your HR department HR officer on site. They may be very resourceful and helping you get access to Delta Dental's website.
Thank
Okay.
you. That helps me a lot. I had no clue about that.
Okay, our next question. Would it be more cost effective and beneficial to obtain Delta Dental USA for ortho versus Delta Dental PPO? And another part of that question, are there a difference of providers for ortho with both plans?
Okay. They are the same plan. So whether you're on the PPO or the HMO, you have exactly the same orthodontic plan. And the providers will also be the same. So if you would like to look up ortho providers to see who exactly is contracted with Delta Care, you can go to the search in Delta Care and you'll be able to put in ortho or orthodontist, and it will pull up all the orthodontists that are actually contracted on the Delta Care program.
All righty. Very great questions. Here's another one for us, Carrie.
Okay.
So if I am trying to get the best and most out of my dental insurance under the PPO plan, would it be the best? And what if I have dual Delta coverage? Do they truly cover both or just one?
Okay. Let's start with the dual coverage. If you have dual coverage with Delta through the same employer, for instance, you have it and your spouse has it and you both work for the county, then I would have to defer to the county to see how they would allow the dual coverage to work. I'm not sure exactly. Sometimes they don't allow dual coverage between employees of the county. I don't know, Nidra, do you know about that?
I don't know offhand, but we can certainly find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's not a restriction from your employer, then you can use your dual coverage. And Nidra's going to check on that to see. I always like to go to the employer to find out what they have in their restrictions. And I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question again?
Let's see. So if I'm trying to get the best and most out of my dental insurance, would PPO be the best?
Okay. I'll have to say that the biggest reason that people like the PPO is because they have choice. They have choice of their dentists. They can use it out of the country. So I have mentioned this in the past, that if you are going down to Mexico, for instance, to have dental care done, and there's a lot of people in Southern California that do that, you'll be able to use your PPO dental there. So that's a big plus. You do have a maximum, you do have a deductible. And when you do use up all of your $2,000 maximum and you still need care, you can use the contracted PPO dentists. You can go to one of the contracted PPO dentists, and whatever else you need done, you will have to pay out of pocket. However, they will only charge you the discounted fee that they've agreed to with Delta. So even if you max out and you need something more, you're going to get a discount off of that fee. Now on the Delta Care USA, you have no deductibles, you have no maximums. Pretty much everything is covered. You can't have implants done on the HMO. However, what the thing is that a lot of people don't care for, and that's that the network is not very large. It's not very big. And so they don't have the choice that they would have on the PPO of who they want to go to. What dentist do they want to have their work taken care of at? And so those are the differences between the two. It's not necessarily which one can give me more in the way of service and my plan. It's more, where would you prefer to have your work done? Would you prefer to choose, does it bother you to choose from a small network? Maybe you don't have a dentist at all and you need to find a dentist anyway, so that smaller network would probably not bother you. But people who've been going to family dentists and specialists and all of that for a lot of years really want their choice. So for them, the PPO would be the better plan. So the thing is that when all is said and done, they almost come out to be the same, quite honestly.
All right, I want to add on to that question regarding the dual coverage. And the county does, we actually promote and advocate for employees to have the dual coverage.
Okay.
But if it helps, I did put a link in the chat box. Once again, there's a link to a flyer regarding dual coverage and coordinating that directly with the dental carriers. So if you guys would like to go out and grab that link and check out the flyer, that would be great.
That's super. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, in that situation, what would happen is you each spouse would, their insurance would be primary to them. So as the wife, your insurance will be primary to you. As the husband, your insurance will be primary to you. And then once the first payment is, when Delta has finished paying whatever they're going to pay for the procedures, then we bill the other insurance as the secondary. So if it's your insurance, you're primary.
Great.
And the children, oh, I'm sorry, I should say this too. If there's any children that are dual coverage, they would fall under the parent whose birthday falls first in the year. So if one of you has a birthday in January, one of you has a birthday in June, the children's primary claim would be billed to the parent who was earliest in the year, which would be January.
All righty, great. Thank you for that information, Carrie. And going back, I have a couple of employees who've indicated they're getting that blank screen issue as well.
Mhm.
If you try Microsoft Edge, that may work. And in fact, the first employee who brought that to our attention during this webinar did try an alternative web browser and
Mhm.
tried using Microsoft Edge first. So for anyone else having that same issue, try Microsoft Edge. It seemed to work for this person.
Oh, good. Okay. There might just be a problem with the browser right now. So
Oh my technology, we love it.
we love it. Yeah. We can blame just about anything on technology, you know?
All right, great questions still coming through, everyone. Which plan would you say is better for 2 kids and a mom, Delta Dental PPO versus Delta Care USA?
Well, we're back to 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but you have children, so I'm going to qualify that a little bit more. If you have children, and I don't know their ages, but if they're younger children and you think that they may need a pedodontist instead of an adult, adult dentist who sees more adults, on the PPO, you have full freedom to go right to the pedodontist without any referral. You can call them up, make an appointment, and you still want to check if they're in network, so you'll get your best out-of-pocket value. But you'll be able to look at all the pedodontists that are contracted with us, and you'll be able to just choose one and have your children take your children to that contracted pedodontist. On the HMO, you have to really kind of jump through hoops to get a specialty referral to a pedodontist, and there are a few restrictions to that you don't have on the PPO. So I can't say one is better than the other, but with those two things in mind, I would do whatever is right for your situation. And as a mother, I would probably want to make sure I had more choice.
Okay. Our next question is, let's see, PPO only covers $2,000, and then it would be out of pocket or use in-network provider, excuse me. So if I have work done that is over $2,000 under the PPO, I'm sorry, let me start this over.
Okay.
PPO only covers $2,000, and then it would be out of pocket or use an in-network provider. So if I have work done that is over $2,000 under the PPO, will it only cover up to $2,000?
It will only cover up to $2,000, but anything else, as long as you're with a contracted PPO provider, should be discounted or will be discounted to whatever they charge Delta. So in other words, when they contract with us, they are required to accept the fees that we want them to, which are discounted fees. And they can't charge more than that, even if your plan is maxed out. So you get charged the discounted fee. I don't know if that answered the question, did it?
I believe so.
I hope so. I hope that helped. I hope that answered the question. So yeah, you still have to pay out of pocket. You get $2,000 a year per person. Then you would have to pay out of pocket when that's maxed out. But just remember, stay with the PPO dentists and you'll get a discount off of their fees.
Great. Our next question. I came on late, so you might have already talked about the following. I was under my spouse, but this will be terminating. And I can take this one, Carrie.
Okay.
Sounds like the employee might have a qualifying life event where your coverage with your spouse is ending. And be that the case, and if your spouse is not an employee with the county, you can actually submit a qualifying life event to the benefits division via email or through eBenefits and PeopleSoft and start what's called a qualifying life event. And you would indicate that you're losing other coverage. The period of time in which you would need to do this, it would be 60 days upon knowing that your coverage is ending. There may be extenuating circumstances where we can extend that 60 days But typically we would like that done within 60 days of you losing coverage under the other plan. Okay. Our next question, Carrie, follow up to the ortho question.
Okay.
We get a lot of great ortho questions.
I know, really.
Delta USA versus PPO. I did a quick search for an ortho provider I was interested in, and they only accept PPO, not USA on the Delta Dental website. This is opposite to what you stated earlier, which is correct, which is the correct information.
Okay. I'm not sure if this person went to the Delta Care website or if they just went into the PPO website. In order to see which orthodontists are contracted, you have to look on the Delta Care USA website. And when you do the search for an orthodontist, if they come up, then they accept the plan. So if you go to the PPO website, you're not going to get the same dentists that you would have if you went to the Delta Care website.
Okay, let's see, another question. Where do I go to verify if Dr. Duda is under PPO or HMO?
Well, you can go actually to both networks to see. You can go into Delta Care and see if they take Delta Care, and then you can go into PPO and see if they take PPO. I will tell you this, there are probably more doctors that take, if they're HMO doctors, they generally will also take the PPO. But if they're PPO doctors, they may not take the HMO. So it doesn't kind of work in reverse. So if they're willing to accept the HMO in their office, you may find them on the PPO plan as well. But if they're on straight PPO, they may not be on the HMO. So I would start with the HMO and see if they're there. And then you can go look them up on the PPO.
All righty. Next question. Does Delta not cover retainers or mouth guards after ortho care? I have Delta Dental PPO and was told Delta does not cover either, and I have to come $500 out of pocket. Is this right?
Whatever is listed under the HMO ortho plan, and honestly, I don't have that in front of me. But I will say this, if it's not listed as a covered procedure on the Delta Care ortho section, then you would pay extra out of pocket. There are things that you may have to pay extra out of pocket for on the ortho plan. Some of them would be unusual things like maybe headgear. I don't know if they do headgear anymore, but it would be maybe headgear or some kind of appliance that a child would need, maybe a I don't know, maybe a thumb sucking appliance, or something to keep them from sucking their thumb. You may have to pay extra for those kinds of things, but your records and your comprehensive care and your post-treatment records are all covered for sure. You'd have to look under the Ortho Benefit to see if retainers are covered. I have not seen anywhere so far that retainers are covered, but they may be listed under the plan in their booklet. And they can access that online, can't they?
Yes.
Okay, so when you go in to access the Delta Care information, it's all coded numerically. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the 8000s, which is ortho. So it starts at like 1000, and then you have sections of numbers until you get to 8000. So you can skip over a lot of that stuff and just go into the ortho part of it and look at it.
All All right, keep the questions coming, everyone. We're happy to assist and address any concerns you have. And I say that because that was our last one for now.
Oh, okay. Well, they're good. I mean, goodness, you're making me use my brain today, you know, so that's good. I don't get questions like these very often, and so when I do, I get kind of happy.
I believe there was one question we were still uncertain of
Mhm.
what was being asked. So Sheena, if you still have some concerns about your original question and would like us to answer that, feel free to type additional information in the Q&A box and we'd be happy to answer that question for
Absolutely.
you.
Sure, sure. No?
Nothing yet.
Maybe we answered it. Maybe we answered her question. I don't know. I think we were waiting to see if she had anything else to add to that, but we might have answered it in the meantime in another question.
Very good point.
Yeah.
And for those of you who joined in late or weren't able to log in right at 10 o'clock at the top of the hour, we're going to run this presentation again, roughly at about 11 o'clock. Would you agree to that, Carrie?
Yes, that's great.
11 o'clock. Okay, we'll run through the presentation again and do another round of Q&A at the end of that presentation.
Okay, that's great.
All righty, take it away, Carrie.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone to Delta Dental's presentation. We're going to be going over both of your plans that are available to you today. And you can hold your questions to the end and we'll be happy to answer any of them that you have. Okay, we're going to start out with Delta Care USA. And Delta Care USA is probably comparable to an HMO medical plan that you would, sign in with your primary dentist, and then they would be like a gatekeeper for all of your specialty care and things like that. You have comprehensive coverage. We consider it a prepaid fixed co-payment plan. So once you're enrolled, then that's when you're going to choose your primary dentist from the network. And you'll be able to enjoy set co-payments, no annual maximums, no deductibles, no claims, and best of all, you'll have lower premiums. This is how it will all work for you. Once you've chosen a primary dentist, a primary care dentist, you can let us know either online or by phone who that is so that we can make sure you get assigned to the proper office. Then once that's done, you'll be able to make an appointment and visit your dentist for an exam or any services that you need. And you pay your co-payment, and that is it. If you need any kind of specialty care, your primary care dentist, as I mentioned earlier, will refer you, and they'll actually request authorization for any kind of specialty services that you need. Now, another good thing is when you're out of the network coverage. So if you're traveling away from your home, you do have coverage for emergencies. So if something comes up, you can get care. Okay, orthodontics. That's a big one. You know, I think more and more adults are getting ortho, and a lot of children are still getting ortho, and both are covered under the HMO. So children and adults are covered, and you have limited and comprehensive orthodontic treatment. Comprehensive, we kind of define that as like a full mouth treatment anywhere that lasts anywhere from 12 to 24 months. 24 months is kind of the key as far as what we consider comprehensive. You also are covered for pre and post records. That's where they take models of your mouth and x-rays and all of that at the beginning and determine how they're going to do the treatment. And then afterwards, they take models again to see what it looks like after it's finished. And you also have coverage for in-progress treatment. Okay, this is the co-payment for your Delta Care ortho services, and you'll notice that children and adults are the same. You have $1,695 co-payment, and that's for, again, like I mentioned, the comprehensive care up to 24 months, and then pre and post treatment costs. And they're exactly the same for children and adults. And I would like to kind of qualify that now, because we had a question last time about this. If there's anything kind of out of the norm or out of the ordinary that comes up, like an appliance of some kind or headgear, you would be responsible for paying for those extra things. But for your comprehensive care, this is what you would pay. Okay, you're going to pick your dentist by going to deltadentalins.com. And I always say, you remember that by Delta Dental, I need something, and .com. So that helps you remember that INS at the end. And you'll be able to browse the Delta Care USA dentist in your network. And when you find where you want to go, write down the facility number of the dentist, and then you can submit that online to us, or you can actually call customer service and let them know this is the dentist I want. Okay, this is your Delta Dental PMO program. And this shows you a little bit of the difference between how the different networks and non-network are going to affect you. The PPO is your best value as far as out-of-pocket expense. Premier, you have a little more out-of-pocket expense than you do on the PPO. So it's less value. But then when you go completely out of network, you have quite a bit out of pocket. So we'll explain that. You can visit any licensed dentist on the PPO, so you have a lot of choice. And like I mentioned, if you want to save the most, you're going to visit a PPO contracted dentist, and you won't be charged any more than your expected share of the bill. So their fees, they have agreed to contractually, and they have discounted them. And so you will pay your percentage, we will pay our percentage, and you should not get a balance bill of any kind. You don't need an ID card to check in. They will always, to my knowledge, they always verify your benefits before they even start work. So they'll just ask you the questions, they'll call us and verify it, so you don't have to worry about an ID card. We will coordinate dual coverage. So if a spouse and or a partner, you both have coverage and you've covered each other and the kids, we'll help with that. We'll help coordinate the coverage. And most importantly, you'll want to create an online account to check your benefits and claims online. Okay, this is how your plan will work as far as deductibles and your maximum for the year. And what you'll see is your deductibles are $50 a person, and when you have a family, they max out at $150. So if you've got 3 kids and 2 parents, you're not going to pay more than $150 for the whole family as far as a deductible. That deductible is actually waived for diagnostic and preventive care. So it only applies when you actually start having services performed, like fillings and that type of thing. You have $2,000 per person, and that's an annual maximum per calendar year. And we pay for 100% for your diagnostic and preventive services. Basic services, endo, periodontics, and oral surgery are all covered at 80%. And major services we consider to be crowns, any kind of cast restorations, and we will cover that at 70%. Then if you need any kind of implants, dentures, partials, anything like that, that also is covered at 70%. Now, you'll see I'm looking at the PPO column, and then in the middle is the Premier column. And what it doesn't look like there's any difference. However, the Premier dentists get paid a little higher rate than the PPO dentists do. So you have a little bit more out of pocket. It's not substantial, but it is a little bit more. But when you go out of network completely, you lose quite a bit of your benefit. You end up paying quite a bit more. So those are things to remember. Remember the 3 little pigs. Okay, now you don't have, we don't take your diagnostic and preventive care. We don't take that out of your $2,000 on your plan. So what you would be looking at here is a maximum waiver. And so let's say that your preventive care costs $350, but you have a maximum waiver. That means that that is covered on top of your $2,000 maximum. So it's not included or deducted from that. If you didn't have that waiver, it would be deducted and you would be left with $1,650 in your maximum. So that's a benefit. This is a sample of how these plans work, and we're going to use a crown as an example. And the dark green column, that's your PPO network. So let's say that the charge for a crown in that dentist's office is $1,200 usually. They've contracted with Delta to only charge $700. So they're giving a $500 discount off of that crown. We're going to pay 70%, and that would be $490. And the rest would be your responsibility of $210. So that's going to be your best value. Now, if you are in the Premier network, if you've chosen a dentist in the Premier network, we're looking at $1,200 for a crown, but you'll notice that we allow $900 for the Premier dentists. Okay, we give them a little bit more because we're trying to keep our network solid and large. And we'll pay 70% of that $900 to them, which is $630. And then you will be responsible for $270. Now, when you go to the out of network, you'll see $1,200. We will pay them according to our allowable amount for the Premier dentists, which is $900. And we will cover that at 60% of $900, which is $540. But they still will have that $1,200 charge because we can't control their fees. So they'll add the difference onto what you owe, and you will come out paying $660 to that $1,200 crown. So this is a really clear example of why you would want to stay in a network of dentists, because they have an agreement with Delta to charge less. Now, if you want to know pretty close to what you would actually have to pay for your treatment, you can ask your dentist to send us an estimate. So we call this a predetermination or a pre-treatment estimate, and the dentist will send all the details to Delta. And we will go through everything and do all the figuring and what they can charge and what they can't charge, what we will pay, and then also what you will pay. And so we will send you a cost estimate along with your dentist. You usually get it first. So when it's time to call and make an appointment, you have all the information. On the PPO, orthodontics are covered exactly the same way that they are covered on the HMO. In other words, this is really the only connection between the PPO and the HMO plan. And you're going to use the same network of orthodontists. You will pay the same co-payments as the Delta Care pays. And if you have any questions on that, you can call customer service and they can answer any question that you have, and they can actually help you find a Delta Care USA orthodontist if you need to. And you're going to be paying the same co-payment too. I want to mention that. And this is a sample slide of how that works. So on here, you'll see it's almost identical to the previous slide that we looked at from Delta Care. $1,695 co-payment plus pre and post treatment costs for a comprehensive ortho treatment. So this is really the only connection between the PPO and the HMO is the ortho piece. Okay, now you're going to want to look for these dentists that you're going to want to have treatment with, and so we need you to go to the website to do that. deltadentalinns.com/County of San Diego. And when you get in there, you'll find a little prompt on the screen that will say find a dentist. And when you click on that, it will take you to another screen that has the networks all listed. And so you will see your DHMO, your Delta Care, your PPO, and your Premier networks all listed. And you're just going to choose the one you want to look at. You also will be able to get answers to all kinds of questions about your plan. Also, we have articles, we have recipes, we have videos. We have the Smileway Wellness site that has all of that incorporated. And we also do a quarterly magazine called Grin. And I think Grin is really a great tool. So when you have your online account set up, you will be able to check all of your eligibility, what's covered, what your level of benefits is. You'll be able to look at claims that have been filed. Have they been paid yet? Where are they in the process? If you like, you can view or print your ID card, although you don't need to have your ID card, but sometimes the dentist will say, can I see your ID card? So if you have a dentist like that, then maybe you want to print that on a piece of paper. And you'll also be able to estimate the cost of your next procedure. On top of that, you'll be able to submit questions to customer service. So instead of calling on the phone, you can submit them online. And personally, I think you get an answer a lot faster. We're trying to go paperless, as many people are. And so one of the things that we're doing is if you have opened your account online, you'll get an alert. You'll get an email alert every time a new document is available. So anytime we put information into your online account, we'll let you know, and you can go and see what's waiting for you. That way you don't have to wait for the snail mail, and we can save paper, which is what we're trying to do. So you would just log on to your account at deltadentalinns.com, click on my profile tab, and select the online setting. Okay, we kind of got ahead of ourselves in how to find a dentist, but this is a reminder. This is the Find a Dentist tool. And actually, once you get into the network that you're looking for, if you click on the PPO or on the Delta Care, you can search for a dentist any number of ways. You can search by name, address, zip code. You can search by language. You can search by gender, if you like. If you have small children and maybe you'd like them to have an experience with a female dentist, for instance. I know there's a lot of females that go into Pediatrics, and the kids maybe are more comfortable with that. So you can even search by that if you want. Once you have looked up a dentist name and you have found one that you're interested in, we have a Yelp rating that's attached to their name. So you can click on Yelp and it will take you into the Yelp rating of that dentist right then. So you don't have to get out and go into Yelp and search for them separately, and you'll be able to find out anything you want to know about their Yelp rating. Now we also have a mobile app, and you can download this to your smartphone. Once you've got that, you can find a dentist, you can look at your coverage details. Actually, you can pull up an electronic ID card. You don't even need to print it on a piece of paper. And we also have the cost estimator on there. This is a little bonus. This is a musical timer. And this is for your children to brush their teeth to. So it runs for 2 minutes. And so they brush their teeth while the music's playing. And then it goes off at 2 minutes. And if you're an adult who doesn't really brush for 2 minutes, you might want to use that musical timer for yourself. Okay, SmileWave Wellness site, that's part of the deltadentalins.com. And once you get in there, you'll be able to read every kind of article about our general health, how it affects our teeth, for instance, from acid reflux. A lot of people don't realize that acid reflux can really affect your teeth. And they have articles on things like that in there. They have tooth-friendly recipes, short videos, and you can take quizzes to assess what your dental risks are. If you need any kind of help at all, customer service is your best friend, and you can get help by phone or online. And like I said, you know, if you can go through the website and present your questions and probably get an answer pretty quickly. If you go through the phone, I'm not saying you won't get an answer quickly, but sometimes you don't want to sit on the phone and push prompts. You just want to put your question in and get an answer out. So if you do want to speak to a customer service rep, then you can call them Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have any kind of routine or simple questions, you might be able to get them answered on the automated phone system, which is available 24/7. So if you want to ask something online, you're going to go to deltadentalins.com, contact us, Delta Dental of California customer service form. So there is actually a form, and you can put your question on there and submit it to customer service. Okay, these are all the social media platforms that we are linked to. So you can find us anywhere. You can't get rid of us. As a matter of fact, we're on so many. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So never fear, Delta's everywhere. Okay, thank you so much for your time listening to this presentation. And if you guys have any kind of questions, I'll be just happy to answer them.
Hi, Carrie. Presently, no questions in the Q&A boxes just yet.
Okay, that's okay. But don't be shy, because we've answered a lot of unusual questions in the last time, the last meeting, and this one, the first one too. So we're good. We like those unusual questions.
And just to remind every participant, open enrollment does start next Monday on the 27th. However, the county's benefits open enrollment website is available and open now for you all to start reviewing plan documents. And then you can initiate some more questions at a later point in time. But do know that the benefits website is also open and accessible to plenty of information and documents regarding plans, the coverages, co-pays, all that nifty benefits information for you.
And if you have something that's even maybe not listed there, or you can't seem to find it, call customer service and ask them. They are very much your friend, believe me. I always say customer service is your best friend, because they know so much more than what even I have access to. They know more about your plan, and about if you've been with Delta for a while, they'll have all of your records and everything. So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to call customer service.
Absolutely. I sound like I'm a PSA on top of your presentation here.
Well, that's all right. We need that too.
We can certainly give it a couple more minutes, and if no
Okay.
more questions come through, we'll conclude the webinar.
Okay.
For those who are still on board with us, feel free to type a question in the chat
Sure.
box or Q&A box. I keep saying chat box. It's a Q&A box.
Well, let me ask you, Nidra, was there anything in the presentation that I might have missed explaining that you would like a little more explanation on?
I believe you covered everything thoroughly and
Over and over again,
effectively.
right?
Yes, it was thorough and effective and understandable.
Oh, good.
Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Sure.
When it comes to insurance and the lingo, not all of us users know some of that terminology. So
That's
we
true.
rely on you,
Yeah.
and you thoroughly explained it all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, that's good.
And I'd like to remind everyone, a copy of this presentation will be posted on the Benefits Open Enrollment website. Carrie, I believe we're safe to conclude, and
Okay.
assume that everyone will use the resources other than us at this time. There are other resources.
Oh, you've got so many resources. Yes. Never forget customer service, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, this does conclude the webinar. We'd like to thank you for joining us, and make sure you call if you have any other questions, or send an email, use customer service, and have a great rest of the day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie.
My pleasure.